When you first use it in your car, you can feel the benefits right away. Wow, so surprising to this extent. It's so nice, very fantastic. So people think it's a good substance, but it shouldn't be used. But there are still a few companies that use it. It's hard for me to mention it myself because I could be sued.
Subscribe to Lista Lubricant Labs, like the video, and turn on notifications.
Dr. Kim, one subscriber who used the Slick 50 engine oil additive said there was a white substance in the additive. So what is this?
I think he probably used the old Slick 50. I think that's the reason. This is a sludge-like substance formed by the aggregation of PTFE powder. Let me explain this to you. This is PTFE, short for polytetrafluoroethylene. It's a material that has a lot of advantages in a way. One of these advantages is that it can reduce friction tremendously. It's a material that can be coated very smoothly, like lubrication. But this is what was used in engine oil, and this is the problem. In the past, in the US, in addition to Slick 50, some companies used PTFE powder in engine oil. It's really good to use at first. It's amazing. Why? How do I know this? This was the last chapter of my doctoral dissertation. I found out how to reduce wear and friction with PTFE powder. But in the end, after a year of research, I failed to disperse. So I couldn't commercialize this. It's only on the paper. Slick 50 is a commercialization of this in a way. Eventually, they'll argue that they made it dispersion. But as far as I'm concerned, it's hard to make it dispersion. Well, let me explain about that. The advantage of this is that it can reduce friction, as I said earlier. So it's used a lot for coating. And the second advantage is that it has heat resistance. Well, I would say polymers are actually weak against fire, but it's rather strong. So it can be used at 260 to 300 degrees. So where is this used? You know, a coating frying pan. Teflon's brand says it's coated with PTFE. It's coated here. Then people might think it's dangerous, but we usually cook within 100 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius. It is safe within that temperature. So what's the third advantage? They attract each other between their molecules. They generate repulsive forces in other molecules and push each other away. And that's why the company Tefal advertises, you can make fried eggs without oil. That's one of the advantages. So it's a really good substance. But in the powder form, its disadvantages begin to occur. Other materials are pushed out, but the same kind is attracted. I said this. It would be nice to spread evenly on the engine oil, but they stick together. Then in the end, it becomes like rice cake. It becomes something like sludge. And specific gravity is heavy. Oil is very light in specific gravity. It's only about 0.8, 0.9 grams. A Teflon will weigh more than 2 grams. So when it's mixed, it's forced to go down by gravity. It has to be made to float, but it's very hard to float. So what happens if it's used in engine oil? The disadvantages would come out. When it is put in, its advantages come out very clearly. When I experimented with this, I was like, wow, I loved it. It was fantastic. But after a while, in a little bit of time, it subsides. These problems can occur, so we shouldn't actually use them. And what happens to the debris that's been created like this? It may block the filter later on, and it can block all the lubrication lines and cause a number of problems.
I was a little curious about one of your words. You said this material clumps up. Does it unravel if we shake it?
It does, because it doesn't clump and cause a chemical reaction. It's just clumped together. So when a strong physical force is applied to it, the bond is bound to fall off. When we look at it, it looks like they're incredibly separated. But in reality, they're lumped together. It would be nice if they kept circulating inside the engine. When the engine is stopped, they sink down. When the car starts, it is pulled to the pump from the bottom and circulates it again. But the materials underlying the floor continue to be like that. Slick 50's company used to say this, what it was, that they solved the dispersion. The dispersion method is called TCP, which is a type of phosphate. There were people who claimed that they were coating, dispersing it, and floating it. And there were people who said they used the existing dispersant and floated it. There are substances extracted from fish oil. Some people said they used those to float. And actually, size is very important. And they said it needs to be about 20 micrometers in size to pass through the engine oil filter. But I told you they clump together, right? So they're much bigger. In fact, the particle size is very big. The one I studied was 20 nanometers, but it wasn't dispersed. If anyone succeeded, please contact me. I'd like to work with you. There are many types of this powder. There are a few companies that use powder in their additives. It's called XADO. It's not a Korean company. It's probably a Ukrainian company. It's the company's engine oil. And what kind of substance did they find? They had to burrow in a mountain in a certain area. Usually now, when they drill through a stone mountain, the tool wears out quickly and the blade needs to be replaced quickly. But they're drilling through a certain area and it doesn't wear out. It's so easy to pierce and the surface of the soil is shiny. They were like, what is this? But when they checked it, the soil was very soft. They did some research on what it was, and it was a very small natural material. It's soft and doesn't dissolve in oil. As they studied it, they found out that it was soft and that friction was reduced. And if they slightly put it on where it came off, they found it was filled in. People said the surface has been restored and people made the product with it. There's no patent or anything like that. As I said before, the powder type engine oil additive works as soon as you put it in the engine. People don't think they're going to sink down and get into trouble soon after that. Has difference. It has chlorinated paraffin. It's an environmental pollutant. They changed their technology. So their website says they used PTFE powder. I wonder why they chose this, but I told you that the initial performance is good when you use it. It only works, that's all. When chlorinated paraffin was also used, it actually worked very well. It didn't take much into account that there could be problems later on.
There are no successful cases of powder-type materials in the lubricating oil field yet, right?
It's still a little dangerous to say that powder has done something. I told you that there is a precondition for this. It certainly works when it is used. At first, that's why people add it. But even if it works, they all sink down over time. And then the good effect actually backfires. Therefore, the question arises as to whether it must be used. If there is anyone who has solved it, please contact me and I am willing to test it.